Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hugh. So we finished the game and saw the credits last time. So we're doing a cleanup episode now to just collect the remaining three flasks in this area and the remaining three flasks in this area. So we're going to just try and burn through this as quickly as possible. The ending we got was fairly good. So I'm not really expecting that there would be that much more of a better ending or of a different credits by getting all the flasks. And I'm not sure that we can actually easily trigger all the elements or the credits in the game. One would assume that there's one here. We didn't have blue. We did unlock blue fairly early in the game, so we probably could have reached that. So that's two more to find. Why am I so zoomed in? And yeah, I think it probably will be a little easier. Might be even too easy to get to certain areas now. Just get on the other side of that. And then maybe we're supposed to just jump to that, to that, to that. I want to just make sure I'm looking everywhere because it's going to really suck if I miss the remaining of these. And this is going to be not really a lot of puzzle solving, I imagine, at this point. I imagine we've already figured out all the puzzles. And this is probably just going to be a lot of probably just going to be a lot of kind of silliness of moving and platforming. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's everything. I do want to come over here and just make sure that there isn't a wall, a secret wall, since at this point I hadn't yet realized that there were secret walls leading to a lot of the flasks. I'm still not really a fan of the way the colors are laid out. And nothing's gonna really stop this one. We're gonna run this direction. We really don't need to do too much there. Actually, if you slow everything down here, you can actually get through this very easily, I'm saying, because everything comes back as soon as you pull the ring. So this felt like this was really difficult when I first did it, but if you're willing to just move at a snail's pace, you're actually very safe. We still have the colorblind mode on, which, yeah, that didn't do anything really. I would definitely say that if you were colorblind, you probably already would have been known well enough to not try and play this game based on the fact that it's based on colors. Because this colorblind assistance mode, which is at best what I could describe it, just doesn't help enough for somebody to recognize colors instantaneously. I do like the symbols. They give a little bit of flavor to the world, but the symbols play no role or meaning. And see, you always have this danger in any game where the game could come off feeling like there's some kind of secrets going on. But honestly, I don't think there is any kind of secrets to these symbols. If I was to guess, these symbols were all pre-made from an asset store, from the Unity asset store, since we did see this was made in Unity. Okay. Guess the trick on this one is to jump. Can't roll the rocks though. I guess it doesn't matter, you just use the platform there. You can't jump any higher, however. So there's probably not a secret in here, in this room. So you are effectively going to be forced to just run through the entire levels. These skeletons never played a role in the game. Yeah, it's questionable what happened here that the game is so so separated out. It just feels like more people than would have been listed in the credits worked on this, or one person who happened to be very ADHD worked on the game. Because it really does just feel like all over the place with its content. Is there a way to slow things down here? I mean, you're already slowing things down. The trick, I guess, is to know that you're only cycling between 3 colors, which on a second playthrough may not be super obvious. Yeah, if I get through this whole area and I miss something, I just don't think I'm willing to play the level a second time. So this really is going to be make or break. See, that really should have been the end of the level. Smaller levels with more hub returning sections would have worked fairly well for me. And we can't listen to the letters anymore, which makes these sections in particular rather boring. Hopefully there is a flask here. Yep. So let's just double check. Yes, there's one more flask. But the problem now is we don't really know where it saves. So we kind of have to run through the entire level. Otherwise, if we fast travel, it may not save the progress of collecting the flasks. And that would be a nightmare scenario of having to do it all over again. I'm gonna get a blister on my thumb if I'm not careful here. All this flicking on the right stick. It's not really the right way to have a player play, in my opinion. Maybe there is room for some other kind of controller input where you would have a quick flick action to swap. But generally speaking, I do feel like the color swapping element here needs to be programmed a different way. Another thing certainly could have been thought of is that you could have had some kind of reservoir, some kind of paint bucket that you had to refill to swap colors, or even a specific spot where you could swap colors. That would make the puzzles much more controlled instead of just constantly being able to swap at any point in the game. And I won't say it was no amount of special programming. Obviously it would have taken a little bit of special programming to have the color background swaps affect objects in this way, but it does feel a little lackluster in what the color does. There we go. This is a great spot to show where having extra colors isn't going to speed up the process at all. That was just as slow as it could have been. Okay, so you really only have one choice here. It has to be purple. Then you really only have a couple choices here. It can either be orange or it can be blue. You get to this. The only thing that would really change is to make it blue. This world definitely would have been interesting. This would have been the point where we would have only had a couple colors. Purple can go all the way up here if there was some kind of secret, but there isn't. There we go. Again, just pressing on the walls to see if we can find that last flask. This might be a great example also of where the developers of a game like this could probably pretty easily get really good, just too good for their own good, for lack of repetition there, and then they may fall under the hypnosis of the game feeling like it's a lot smoother or a lot easier than it actually is. Because these definitely were kind of difficult sections when I first played them, and now I'm kind of breezing through them. Guess we're pushing this through. We'll pull that through. Push that through. Push that through. Just get that box here. Then we push this here through. go. Didn't find anything there. I can't walk in front or behind of this one, so that one has to get out of the way first. Then you can kind of push that out of the way. And we can bring this back in the middle. Although, I guess we have to more do it that way. And then guess this has to come over here. Then I guess this has to come over here. And then just push all three of them over to the edge. No secrets here. No secrets here. Right. Still no secrets here. The swooping in and out sound effect, I feel like it's gonna get kind of annoying. There we go. Push it that way. There's our safety. Bring this back that way. Bring this that way. Bring this in the middle. Push everything together to make stairs. You would have thought that this would have been a strategy that would have just been duplicated and done over and over again on puzzles, and you would have evolved into that and evolved and played variations on a theme of that, but weirdly no. That was pretty much it. Just gonna put that there, and then what are we supposed to be doing here? When the game is all zoomed out like this, I imagine that probably is an indication that there isn't a flask anywhere nearby. Okay. And here we go. lost momentum because I hit the wall there. This was, I feel like, one of the first kind of difficult platforming sections. It'll definitely be easier now that I can just revert to green, and green is definitely the default choice to go with. There's no swapping at all that has to be done. I feel like I may have already just gotten the flask here. Yeah. So there must have been another flask I missed somewhere. And the gimmick, I suppose, of hiding things I think probably can only take you so far. See, that feels a little safer. Let's try something here. Okay. Okay. Then I guess the move is probably to do something like that. I'm hoping this is right. I think this is right. Okay. Makes another platform. Another platform. Although weirdly, let's just check here. You don't actually die falling from that platform. So you just needed the extra height, I guess. Still looking for that one flask, and at this rate it looks like there'll be 2 cleanup episodes instead of just one. Boy, does it feel like maybe you should destroy these temples so you can just run across the screen or some secret passage. Like, if you, for instance, got the green color here, you probably didn't, you probably got something closer to red, then wouldn't it make a lot of sense to have a colored tunnel that would just have you walk under the temple? And I could certainly see an extra flask being collectible in the inside of the temple instead of at the top of the mound. Pretty much you could have those kinds of what would you call them? Shortcuts. Yeah, that's the word. In a lot of places. Here's another great example. If you're running through this a second time, shouldn't there be a green shortcut? And really, shouldn't there always be green shortcuts in all the areas after a certain point? Because green is the last color you have unlocked, and in the first playthrough you just wouldn't have green as a color. Otherwise this just becomes a huge waste of time. All I'm doing is rubbing against walls looking for secrets. And if you compare this to something like Metroid, the number of flasks and the number of secrets you can find are just far too few. Yeah, and I boned it up somewhere. Somewhere in that, there was a flask that I missed. And so, what I think I'll do is I'll end the episode here, and then I will just look up where the flasks are and play off screen to be at the area where the flask is, and that way we can save some time. Then, if that works, the next episode we will then go to this area and hopefully naturally just get the remaining 3 flasks. Who knows what the flasks really do for you, or if they matter at all. They don't seem like they really do. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching. Thanks.